Welcome to Modern Alchemy, episode number 44.
That was a smooth intro.
Wasn't it?
It was.
Thank you.
That smooth voice.
Smooth jazz.
Over the last several episodes, we've been talking about one of the hermetic laws of the universe that used to be your favorite law.
Polarity.
No longer your favorite law.
No.
But we're going to wrap up today. We've talked about polarity and we've defined it, and we're not going to go back and do that again. If you haven't been keeping up with us, go back and catch some of the previous episodes because we've talked about it quite a bit. But let's talk about the ultimate polarity today.
And what is that?
That would be you and me. No, not really.
Yeah.
We've explored how polarity shows up in your life, and the ultimate polarity would be what? If you had to guess, what's the ultimate polarity? We've said up and down and right and left and good and bad and light and dark.
Is it heaven and
hell?
Hell.
That's close. Yeah, it's spirit and form.
Oh, spirit and form.
The ultimate polarity is spirit and
it.
form, and heaven and hell is kind of spot on because a lot of the mystery traditions tell us that Earth is hell, but that's a whole different discussion. It's not. It's also heaven. You have to just make heaven in the midst of hell, and then you've really truly found heaven. Anyway, I digress. So the ultimate polarity is spirit and form. Now, the great mystery teacher Eliphas Levi stated what, Bersabeh?
To the moon, baby.
Every great philosopher stated to the moon when you ask Bersabeh because she doesn't know. Eliphas Levi stated, man, all right, I'm going to quote this and then you're going to tell us what it means.
Okay.
Man is God on earth, and God is man in heaven.
And God is man in heaven?
Yeah. Man is God on earth,
yes,
and God is man in heaven. What does that mean?
Ooh. Well, okay, so I could the moon. To the moon.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Go ahead.
I would say that God is man on earth. I would say it's our animating force, the spirit, the life form. Life force.
You got it wrong.
Life force.
Man is God.
Man is God on earth.
On earth.
Right. So that would be the life force.
The life force would be
within each of us.
Talk some more about that.
So it's the spirit, the driving spirit, the animating force, which gives us, which connects us all, and it says that we're all from the same thing and we're all connected, and I feel like that's what that means. And the other,
and let me just build on that because it's really a good point. Because if we're talking about the ultimate polarity, spirit and form, then if the life force is spirit, it's operating through its ultimate polarity. Yeah. Right? So man is God on earth, and then how is God man in heaven?
That I don't know. To the moon. To Mars.
What we do know, and I don't know the answer totally either to God is man in heaven, other than there are multiple heavens in the mysteries. There's multiple universes in the mysteries. And what we know in the pursuit of esoteric thought is that the entirety of all great spiritual traditions is the pursuit of the great work. And what is the great work, Bersabeh? How's that defined? Do you have any idea?
Well, it's
to become God
in human form.
In human form, that's right. It's also called the magnum opus. So that to become God in human form means to take dominion of this formed earth. Yeah. Now, here's a fact, and even quantum physics backs this up. Let's pull out of esotericism for a minute, and states and tells us that the invisible creates the visible. And in alchemy, you always work with the cause versus the effect. So how does that play out in practical terms, Bersabeh? If the invisible creates the visible, how is it we create visible, tangible results if we're working with the cause versus the effect, if we're really utilizing alchemical principles? Don't say to the moon.
Okay, well. So would it be to the Mars?
No, it wouldn't be to the Mars
okay.
either.
All right.
How do we use, what's the invisible?
The invisible is the animating force.
That's spirit. Right. It's spirit.
Yes.
It's spirit. So would that suggest that if we want to become God in human form, if we want to become God on earth, mm-hmm. and if that sounds sacrilegious to you, then think about this. Every great tradition has told us that we're created in the image and the likeness of God. So it's exactly what we've been told in every great tradition. If we want to achieve that, then we've got to go to the source. We have to start with the invisible and create the visible. And that's what alchemy is all about, because all of alchemy is about taking the external, that's right, your internal world into the external world. Mm-hmm. And the internal world is the invisible world. Now, what we're talking about here as well is cause and effect. Mm-hmm. In the Sanskrit, the Eastern tradition, cause and effect is called karma. What do most people think karma is, Bersabeh?
It's like bad. It's like it's their, it's the bad deeds that they did. It's coming after them to get them.
It's
whack them over the head.
That's right. It's how life and God smack you for how bad you messed up in the past.
You're being punished.
But that's not what karma really is. Karma, defined accurately, is both cause and effect in the Sanskrit. It's both. So it's action. Now, can you change, utilizing these principles of the ultimate polarity, utilizing these principles of the invisible creates the visible, tapping into the life force first to create the external results? Can you change your karma?
Yes.
How so?
Well, it's by the actions you take. Instead of waiting around for the effect, you could run at it before you could change the effect.
Yeah, really good example. How many times do we hear people use an excuse as, well, it's just my karma. It's just my karma.
We'll do something differently.
I really screwed up, and now I'm having to pay for it. Stop it. Change your behavior. If I may, here's a great analogy. If you take a ball and you throw it against a wall, let's say it's 10 feet in front of you, then according to physics, that ball is going to come back to you at the same velocity minus a little bit of the absorption of the energy that the wall takes out of the ball. You with me so far? So you throw the ball, and that wall is going to absorb a little bit of the energy, and it's going to bounce back to you. Well, that's cause and effect. And you say, well, you can't change that. Well, yes, you can. Let's say you throw the ball, and then you run towards the wall and catch it before it comes back to you. You've just changed the effect.
Yes.
I'm curious.
Is there a metaphor?
Is there a metaphor here?
Yes, I think there is.
Yes, I think there is too. You can change your karma. Every great tradition tells us we're created in the image and the likeness of God. And what does that ultimately mean? It means that man is God on earth, potentially. And how do we actualize that? Well, we have to do three primary things we're here to do. What are those three primary things? And it's not go to the moon.
I know. No way.
It's what?
We are here to grow up, wake up, clean up.
Yes. And
yes, I got it.
Those are the three.
They're not in the right order.
They're not in the right order. What do you have to do first? Clean up.
Clean up, grow up, and wake up.
That's right. You have to clean up. What do you clean up? You clean up all your unresolved emotional issues. You clean up all the things you're hanging on to. You clean up your behaviors. You clean up your habits. You clean up your dirty thought processes. And I mean dirty as in twisted, not no. Anyway,
Yeah.
you clean up your dirty emotions. You clean up the things that are not pure and not moral and not good.
Yeah.
And then you will grow up. Not until. And eventually, as you grow up, you wake up. You know, the Apostle Paul stated so profoundly, when I was a child, I spoke and acted like a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. When I became a man, I put away
Childish
things. That's in 1 Corinthians, if you're interested, 13:11. But it is profound. How many people become an adult and they don't put away childish things?
True.
You know, so many times people say to us, I've got 55 years experience. Bersabeh just had a birthday. Not 55.
Yeah.
But I've got 40 years experience of life. And you look at their life and you're like, no, you don't have 40 years experience. You have 20 years experience that you've multiplied twice because you haven't done anything new and different since you were 20.
True.
You know, put away the childish things. How do you need, and here's what we'll leave you with today. How do you need to change and clean up your speech?
Big one.
Because it says in the book of John, in the beginning was the
Word.
And the mysteries talk a lot about words of power. All words have tremendous power. How do you need to change and clean up your understanding of how this universe works?
No.
How do you need to change and clean up your thoughts and feelings and grow up and become an adult? When you answer that, you'll become not only an alchemist, but your life, your relationships, and your business will completely and totally transmute into something bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and you'll be much more happy and much more fulfilled.
That's true.
Hopefully that's of value to you. I want to thank you for a couple of moments of your day, and we will touch base with you again next week. Do we have a special guest next week?
Is it next week? No, for them.
Anyway, we do have a special guest coming.
We do have a special guest coming on.
Okay, yeah,
and we'll let you
just
know.
Stick with us.
It is next week.
It is next week.
That's right. You're
That's
right.
right.
We're having a spotlight.
Yeah, we're having a spotlight next week.
We're going to be interviewing a couple.
We're going to be interviewing a couple, a married couple like we are, and they've done some pretty phenomenal things.
Yeah, so tune in. It'll be fun.
Some circles, they're famous.
Yeah.
So anyway, God bless you. Lots of love to you.
Thank you for
we'll
being
talk
here.
to you soon.
Bye.